Welcome back to On Stream Guide. It's a gorgeous day. It's the 1st of June and we're going to fish the mayfly hatch, I hope. Like any hatch in a river, it's not guaranteed, and when I talk about the mayfly hatch, I'm talking about our largest species of mayfly, Ephemerella danica. Now, the root of ephemeral it means short-lived in Latin, and that is where the mayfly derives its Latin name from. It's a very short-lived species as an adult. It spends almost its entire life as a larvae in the river, and when it emerges in these days in this far north in June, and the chalk streams of southern England in May, hence its name, then big fish rise to big natural wild fish rise to mayfly, so it's quite an exciting time for us fishermen. The only fishing joke I know about mayfly, I think it was a Playboy cartoon, and the boy mayfly looks at the girl mayfly with longing eyes and says, "What do you mean not tonight?" So that's enough of the comedy. The idea being, of course, that the mayfly actually only lives for a single day. That's not actually true. They live for more than one day, but they don't live for very long, and it's a spectacular, fruitful time of year for the dry fly fisher on a stream, and that's why I'm here. I'll be fishing for targeted fish with sea rising, and although the mayfly hatch is typically called Duffer's fortnight, the fish can actually be quite difficult, and they tend to rise in quite difficult positions. Now, the river's actually risen and coloured a little overnight, which isn't a bad thing. That can actually enhance the hatch, and I can see a mayfly coming down the centre of the river right now. So we can see the mayflies coming off, and when we see fish move to these, we'll target them. I'm going to use this specific pattern, which I'll show you a little later on, how I tie this fly. It's a very nice profile fly. It looks very similar to the naturals. It pulls the fish. Importantly, it's quite easy to tie. When you're casting flies at bushes or near bushes and you're likely to lose flies, it's a good idea not to spend 35 minutes tying a fly. So this is a 5-minute tie, or less than that, as you'll see later. And I'm going to tie it on with this knot. This is a knot I like for dry flies, like this. So all I've done so far is threaded the line through the hook eye, and then I'm going to double it up on itself, make a loop, then with the tag end come through that loop once, twice, 3 times, and this will form a figure of 8 loop up the line, which will slide down onto the hook eye, and it's a very, very secure knot. My outfit, my complete river stream outfit today, is simplicity itself. I've got about 4.5 feet of tippet, which is 4-pound breaking strain. There's no point in fishing too light in a mayfly hatch. On this is attached to an on-stream guide furl leader, which helps the turnover of the fly, aids presentation, keeps the fly drag free. It's soft, very light, hence I can use a short tippet. It's not like the fly line that has mass. And my outfit is a 3-weight fly rod, 8 9 inch. This is a Sage light line. You've probably, those of you who know me, know that I love this particular brand. The light line rods are perfect river rods in my opinion, the perfect action. And I've just seen one fish move over there, and I'm going to go and cover him right now. So let's see what we can do with this mayfly pattern. There we go. Got that mayfly there. Beautiful big wild trout. Sipping mayflies. Had to hit him on the nose. Fantastic fish. That's the mayfly pattern I'll be showing you later. Oh, these wild fish. Big wild fish in a small stream like this. Lovely, lovely fish. Fantastic. And I'll show you exactly how to tie this mayfly pattern. Lovely, lovely fish, really testing the old light line. It's a gorgeous day, and the mayfly have started to come off. And we saw one or two fish move, and of course they're moving in difficult positions. It's often called Duffer's fortnight, that when the mayfly hatches are on. It's not necessarily true. Fish can be still difficult to catch. You've still got to get the fly on them correctly. Presentation still has to be good. And we're rewarded by these stunning wild fish, and that's a beautiful, beautiful wild trout from a small stream like this. And we're taking advantage, as I say, of this mayfly hatch. Tremendous fish, and I was having to cast extremely accurately because he's actually rising right under that undergrowth. And as you saw then, as soon as I got the fly on that fish, he took without hesitation. And I'll just show you this pretty wild fish. This is a very good stamp of wild fish for this stream. Took that mayfly, and I can feel the fish's stomach is absolutely full of mayfly. He's absolutely stuffed with them. Beautiful fish. Solid, solid fish. Absolutely stunning. We'll watch him go back. No hesitation. So the thing in the mayfly hatch is to spot the rising fish, cover them with the fly. I showed you how to tie it on earlier. It's clouded over a bit and we move position, and we've been rewarded almost straight away with a beautiful, beautiful wild fish. And that's the beauty of fishing in a mayfly hatch like this. Now, I think I've spotted another fish rising just up ahead of me. There's one or two mayfly coming off. It's not really a full-bodied hatch yet, but the fish have just started to move to these mayflies. And that was a stunning small stream trout on the mayfly pattern. Let's carry on. Came and grabbed that mayfly there. There we go. And there I twitched the fly and the fish came for it. Often when you're using a bigger fly, then like these mayfly patterns, if you twitch them, it imparts a bit of movement. Nice little wild fish. Nice fish. Beautiful, pretty wild fish. and you can see there I induced the fish to take the fly. The barbless hook, so hook up to no harm whatsoever. Beautiful, beautiful, pretty wild trout, and back he goes. As I say, the casting's very difficult. We've got to get the casting accurate, and there I knew the fly was in the position where the fish was taken, but he ignored it, so I imparted a bit of life on these larger mayfly, and especially with flies like caddis, sedge, you could twitch the fly and that induced the take. It's been quite a tough day today. There's only a few fish rising to the mayfly, but by persevering, trying a few different spots, we've had some fantastic sport. Let's see if we can catch one or two more fish for the camera. Wild trout taking these mayflies down the edge. Stalking them. Anything bigger? Induced that one to take. Nice fish. I just induced the mayfly there, which is a trick. Just give it a little twitch, give it the impression of life, and the fish is fooled by that. It's a nice fish, big fish, nice big wild fish. Play carefully. Rising midstream there. Often that does the trick, just inducing the mayfly, twitching it a little. Nice fish. Beautiful fish, safely in the net. Nice big fish. We've had a great day on the river. We caught some trout on the mayfly pattern, despite the fact that there were very few fish moving. It was quite a sparse hatch and it was a tough day. But we're able to target those fish that were rising, and they always took the fly which I'm about to show you, which is a very, very simple fly, tied with only a few materials, but it's very, very effective. The hook is a partridge of Redditch Patriot, barbless, ideal dry fly, size 8. And for a mayfly we need quite a long shank hook, and this is a nice long shank hook. Now the materials I'm going to use are simplicity itself. I'm going to use some UV, hare's ear dubbing, and I'm going to mix this tan and very pale golden olive colour together to create a nice creamy colour similar to the mayfly body. For the wing, I'm going to use 2 CDC feathers. These are yellow, but olive green ones work fine, just to imitate the colour of the wing. Also, this is a good sighter, it's easy to see, slightly brighter than the natural, but actually most of the time that's an additional feature and is attractive, and the fish will take the fly because of it. I'm going to use a couple of partridge fibres for the tail, very simple. And finally, for the hackle, which is going to create the legs, I've got some dyed green Hungarian partridge. This is a very simple fly, a 2-minute tie, and as you've seen, it's been quite effective. So I'll show you how to do it right now. So first of all, I'm going to catch in the thread. This is a beautiful little makeshift tying setup by the side of the stream. And then I'm just going to add 2 or 3 partridge fibres to represent the tail. Obviously mayfly tails are actually black, but the fish don't seem to care. As I say, it's a very, very fast tie. Often when you're fishing mayfly, you're fishing under bushes, and if you have a tie that takes too long, in my opinion, you're wasting a lot of time, because there's a very high probability that you're going to lose the fly. So I'm just going to tease out some of this UV hazier dubbing, a little bit of the golden and a little bit of the tan to form the body, and I'm just going to dub that on by hand. Make sure it's going to give a good covering and a tapered body. So I'm going to taper it in slightly, and that's dubbed just how I like it, so it's not quite correctly fully mixed, and that gives a nice striated pattern. So now wind on the body, starting thin and then winding up to where the thorax area is going to be with the wings. We don't have to do this too accurately, as I've just shown. This is fine. If it doesn't want to dub, just force it to. And that's fine. I'll just trim off that excess. And that's a nice dub body, not too tight. Just trim off the excess again. It's very nice. So all I'm going to do now is take the 2 CDC feathers, either side of the hook shank, tie in very loosely with 2 or 3 turns. Then I'm going to adjust the position, pull them down. When I've got about the right size and shape, I'll tie a few turns behind the feather. I'll adjust the feathers all the time, and then I'll pull the stalks forward and wind those stalks forward like that, wind them in nice and tightly. Now there's no way that that feather is going to pull out. This is very important. So I've secured those CDC feathers. As I say, it's a very simple, a very fast tie, but also a very effective fly. Now finally, this is how simple and quick this tie is. I'll tie in this Hungarian partridge by the tips, and then I'll take some turns. The first turn, when that's tightly trimmed in, I'll just trim off that excess. The first turn will be behind the wing, and then I will palmer it forward. The second will be a complete turn. 3 turns, and then I'll bind in the feather nice and firmly. This is Roman Moser Power Silk, the thread. Now the beauty of this fly is we get a very nice impressionistic fly, but it has nice legs. These partridge legs have oodles of movement. So if you can zoom in on that, cameraman, you'll see how the legs look off a very natural profile. And as you saw, we often fish a mayfly pattern by twitching it to induce some movement to give the fish an idea that it's alive. Fish often ignore the adult insects when they're static and only hit the ones when the wings flap. And we can emulate this, and by using these soft partridge legs, now I've just whip finish there behind the high and trim. Now the only other thing I will do with this fly is to trim a few of the partridge feathers which point directly vertically downwards, and now, as you can see, we have a very nice, very pretty fly. It has a very accurate profile. If the fish like it, it has lots and lots of movement in it. So that's the Mayfly fly, and I hope you've enjoyed today. Bye for now.